Hi guys, I am showing the new layering stencils I just picked up from Michael's. This one is the Cityscape one. One thing I didn't really take notice of at the store, I mean I did, but I didn't really pay attention, is these are pretty large. So here I have a half piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This is just hammer mill, and I'm just gonna do this in gray ink. So I have Catherine Pooler Twilight Hoodie slate and black jack. So we're just going to do this in the 4 grays and see how they are. And these are numbered in the corners. So that one's number 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. You could do this in blues as well, which is how they demonstrated it. But we're going to do this in grays and see how it works. So have Catherine Pooler blending brush and there you can see, and inks. So let's see how these work. I wish it came with masks. So Michaels, if you're listening, give us the mask, because I think this would look really cool if this were masked off, and then we could do a background scene as well. But they didn't give us that. That's all right. So let's just ink blend this. This is, again, Twilight is my first color. So this particular set is kind of a large stencil, and again, I'm using my Hammer Mill Premium Color cardstock, and I think this is, I want to say it's probably, I think this is 100 pound. It feels pretty thick. I think it's the 100 pound. And I'm kind of starting off the stencil and then bringing that ink in, and I just put one piece of tape at the top of my stencil there to start off. Okay, that's layer 1. Okay. That's number 2. Oh, this one's a little wider, so I'm glad I started in the middle of the page. I'm going to line up the bottom line here. Just putting my, I'm going to also secure this at the bottom so it doesn't move. Hoodie is the next one. I'm going to use the same brush. So I always start with the lightest layer and then go on with the next darkest color, because we're layering on top here. So again, I'm going to start off the stencil and then bring that ink on. Okay, that's the second layer, and again I used hoodie for the second layer. You can see how that's layering up. It's not bad quality. Okay, going in with the third layer. And again, I'm going to try to center that, and you can see just lining up the bottom again. Okay, this one I'm going in with slate. I don't know that this is, you really want to go in with a darker ink. I probably would have went a shade lighter. I don't know how much this is going to show up. Because my gray is already pretty dark, so maybe even go in and heat emboss this last layer, or go in. I'm not even on the last layer, to be honest with you. And I realize I went over on the edge there. Well, let's see how this turns out. Maybe it's dark enough. We'll find out. Well, okay, darker than I thought. Interesting, coming together here. Wish I hadn't blurbed over there, but I can cut this down. I guess this would be like a 5x7 card. Okay, and then for our last layer, again, lining up that bottom line. What a great card, like for congratulations. Maybe somebody's retiring, or somebody is going away to school. Maybe somebody is getting a promotion, just anything. Any kind of somebody maybe going into the city. I know we only live an hour and a half from New York City, so maybe they're going to see a show at Broadway, something like that. This one is Blackjack. This last layer would be really cool just to use with Deco Foil gel or Gina K Fuse gel, and foil this last layer, really make it stand out and pop. Or glitter gel, glitter glaze, something like that. Or heat emboss it, just to make this final layer really stand out and give it some shimmer, pop, dimension. I think that would be cool with this last layer. Okay. Okay. So let's see how this looks. Well, at that light, thing, you make a left, like you're going towards it, you keep going back that way. That's where the house is. And there it is. That is the 4 layers of this Cityscapes layering stencil. Now at Michael's, I showed a video where I was kind of surprised that Michael's was carrying all of these new card making supplies. Yeah, I'm kind of glad to see them. I said I'm pretty positive. I opened up one of the stamps. I'm pretty positive they're silicone stamps. Silicone stamps don't stamp as well. They just don't hold onto the ink as well. They're not acrylics. They're not acrylic. Photopolymer stamps. So I don't recommend those stamps. But hey, that's not bad. Congratulations on your new adventure. You could do like very easily do ink blending on this and make it because it's such a dark cityscape, you could do a sunset, or you can do a sunrise, do some yellows, oranges, and purples behind this, or something like that. But, congratulations on your new adventure. Congratulations on retirement. Welcome to the big world. Whatever. I mean, this is so cool. I kind of like this. This is pretty neat. This came out pretty cool. The first layer, I didn't tape that layer down, and that's a little shadow from my stencil moving, but that's pretty neat. I like that. That's pretty cool. All right, so there's that. Let's see. Can I do the second one? Yeah, it was only 11 minutes. Let's do this one. This one I did was kind of a beachy scene. This one is 6 layers. This one's also pretty large, and this one stands up. So let's see how quickly I can do this one. This one is going to be multiple colors, it looks like, though. Another piece of paper here. So also numbered in the top left corner there. See that? Okay. So layer 1. Now I got to figure out what colors go where. So I think same thing. We're just going to have to start with our lightest colors and tape this down. How I do my colors. I think I'm going to do like yellow, orange, red. I'll have to go from there. And I'm just going to tape, make sure I'm in frame here.
Oh yeah, I see that. That was hit pretty good in
front. Tape this down at the top and bottom. They had all different size layering stencils. Somebody did mention in my video that the stamps they have do not match the size. So just keep that in mind. Now this stencil is going to hang off a little bit on the sides. So I'm going to line up the bottom of the stencil with the bottom of the paper. But it does look like we are hanging off a little bit on the right and the left here. So we're going to have a little bit of overhang. All right, let me bring in my little spinner here. My little stencil brushes. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to just stick with my Catherine Pooler inks. And we're going to start with lemon sorbet. Since I don't exactly know how these are going to go. And I have the number. Ooh, I hope did I tape that number down the wrong way? Yeah, I sure did. Good thing I felt for that number. The number goes in the top left. So let's try that again. So I want the number etched in the top left there to make sure that we have, and I have it all the way to the left here when I do the stenciling. Okay, let's try this again. Okay. And I just wanted to be careful because we have some delicate areas here with these palm trees, and that's kind of why you saw me going all in one direction. So I want to make sure I get all that ink evenly distributed there. And then this big stripe in the middle, it doesn't really matter what direction I go in. Okay. All right, and now let's lift this. Okay, there's our first layer. Okay, now we want to make sure we have layer number 2. Okay, says number 2 right here. And again, I'm going to line up. Okay, so it looks like, again, we're going to line up the bottom of the stencil, and it looks like we're masking off the line here, and we're going to do the top portion of the sky there. So we're going to line this up here, and for that, I think we're going to go with a lighter orange. So I'm going to bring in creamsicle for that.
I didn't open it. I didn't look at all the pictures now.
And I think on this layer, actually, you could just blend right into the yellow if you wanted to. I don't even think you need this stencil for the second one. I'm actually going to remove this stencil. I mean, depending on how clean you want that line. There is a palm tree there, so just be careful of that, I guess. That's probably why they did that.
I'm gonna buy an electric one.
But I don't think you need to worry about, like, the top up there.
Probably that one that's that easy go one. Yeah, somebody you can change out the batteries and not have to charge it.
Okay, so that's the second layer. Pretty easy there. Okay, nice clean line for that one. All right, so number 3, top right corner there for number 3. And now we're blending, I'm assuming, what is the water. So we're going to line this line up with the bottom of the stencil. And again, I still am lining up. Oh, you guys can't see. See that bottom line there of my stencil? I know you guys can't see, but it's literally cut off right here. So, and I'm going to assume that's more of our water line. So I guess we'll go in with blue for that. There is a cloud layer here. So yes, this is our blue layer. So I want to make sure that's lined up there and our water line is lined up. So we'll make sure that is perfectly straight here.
It's just, they're too much, those gas ones, they start...
Okay, so we want to make sure this is blue here and this is blue here. So let me grab light blue. Okay, and light blue ink. Cummerbund. And it does mask off around the tree trunk there so that you're not turning that blue. Bigger brushes. Okay. Okay, I finished that one up. I paused the video just to save time so you guys didn't have to watch me blend that blue area forever. Okay, moving on. That's really pretty. Okay. Okay, so number 4 looks like it's in the top left corner there. And I think that's just going to be some darker areas in our water. And I'm just lining up again the bottom of my stencil. So that can be highlights. Highlights in the water or shadows in the water. So for that, I think I'm going to go with a little bit darker blue. Let's see what I got here. I'm going to go with all that jazz. Just a little bit more turquoise. Okay, so just that's all that seems to be. I don't feel anything else for that one.
That gold one I showed you is that price. The fucking black one I showed you was 28 that price.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into the palm trees, and that one is number 5. And again, it's going to mask off what we just did, lining up the bottom of my stencil. And it's going to outline our palm trees. All right, so this is going to start to be the silhouette. So this is going to mask the rest. And, oh, I didn't line that up right. Make sure you line everything up right, because now I'm starting to see where I kind of screwed up here. So I need to, whoopsie. Silhouette this way. So this is going to be our island. This is going to be our island of palm trees here. So now all of this is going to be black, because this is our silhouette. All right, so I'm going to grab the dark gray that I was just using. We'll use blackjack. Okay. And again, because of how detailed the palm trees are, I'm kind of starting from the outside of the stencil and pulling my way in. That way I don't get seepage underneath my stencil. Okay, that's Pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then our last one is going to be the rest of the sky up here and our sun. So we're masking off the palm tree and our other cloud there. Oh, and the water. Okay.
Yep.
So I think, let me make sure I line this up. This one's a little tricky because you have to make sure you have lined up all the other stencils to make sure this one lines up. So using a grip mat or a stencil mat would probably have helped me if I had lined all these up in the corner. So this one's a little tricky because there's so many different components to making sure everything lined up correctly, which I did not do. All right, so we're going to have to do this in a couple sections. I'm going to do this section first, then I'm going to line this up and do that section. So let me start with down here first. Okay, so I'm going to start with down here. And I think we want like a golden yellow. That should have been like the second layer. Okay. Let's do, what color do we want? Decisions, decisions. Catching rays, I think is what we want. I'm just going to do it on the sun because I don't want it down here. I'm going to do my water in blue. Actually, I'm going to do my water in shimmer so it has that reflection from the sun. So hold on. So that was catching rays. And then I'm going to bring in my shimmer brush and paint this in here. See, I did that up there. Then I'm going to move this stencil at the top and mask the top. Line that up. That was my mistake. Okay. And we have the cloud and the tree. Really, we just want to make sure the cloud is masked off because we don't want that to turn green. I'm not too worried about the tree. Okay. Same thing. Gonna go in with catching rays on that. And again, I just want to be careful. I don't want to lift that cloud mask up and get under the ink there. So just kind of going in with this stripe motion. For those of you guys who have pan pastels, this would be really easy to do at pan pastels too. Okay.
I don't know if they have Ace Hardware down there.
Okay, so it's just enough of that. Look at that sun. That looks really pretty. Okay, so that is the sunset layering. I guess we call this the silhouette island palm trees stencil from Michaels. That came out pretty good. I like that. Let me show you guys what that looks like with the little twinkling water. You could also do that in like a darker blue, or a white gel pen would look pretty good, but I like the way that twinkling water looks. Now again, these are a little bigger, so let me cut them down and see what they look like. See if they'll fit. I don't know if they'll fit on a 5x7 card. So if we cut this down, and you have plenty of room on the top and the bottom to put a sentiment. But I know a lot of you guys like to do bigger cards. What a fun card. Again, enjoy your retirement, enjoy your vacation. Congratulations, thinking of you. How about Father's Day? Let me see what the sizes are of these. So, yep, this one's 7.5. So, yeah, you could make this one 4.5. You could easily make this into a 5x7 if you cut some of this down. And same thing with this one. You could go 5x7 with this one as well. Yep, you could go 5x7 cards with these. So interesting. Wow, okay. So there they are. I'll show you guys the packaging again because they don't really have names on them. But yeah, they're layering stencils for Michaels. This is the packaging for this one. This is this one. 6 layers for that one. I guess if you shop online, it says 6x8. I don't know if this helps you if you're searching by item number. 7678996 for that guy there. And then this one is 7693337. I don't know if that's it or if you need that. All right, so there you go, guys. And I got them and it was like buy one, get one half off. Otherwise, I think the regular price on them is $12 or something like that. I think I paid $20 for both of them, something like that. All right, guys, you can go watch my live. It was Michael's is trying to bring back card making. Hope you had fun watching me make these. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye.